Probably a little bit brighter than it probably needs to be, particularly down in here. I might just see if I can scratch some of that away. Let's blend it into the other. This probably needs to be a little bit more subtle down in here. Because what I'm looking for here is depth. And that's what every landscape artist, photographer, or whatever is looking for. It's a two-dimensional picture, obviously. This is not 3D, and in case you hadn't noticed. But you want it to look 3D in a two-dimensional way. Achieving depth in your work is what it's all about. And if you can get depth in your paintings, then you are 99% on the way of the way there. It's something I managed to achieve, which is good. But it's through sheer determination and persistence that you manage to get depth in your paintings, because it's all about colour, light, where the light's falling, mood and the atmosphere. There's a lot of variables that go into getting depth in your work. And honestly, once you achieve it, you'll know. And then you're away from there. You're on the right track. So yep, early February here at the moment. It's midsummer. We're just getting a little bit of rain, which is nice because we've had nothing but solid, sunny, hot days for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And council started screaming about the water supply, and the farmers started moaning about the cows not getting enough to eat. So now we've had about 2 days of persistent rain, so the drought is broken, which is great. And I don't have to get out there every night and water the garden with water that we apparently is in rare supply. So what do I plan to do in the next couple of weeks? I plan on going and seeing a friend of mine who's painting a house at Waiha Bay on the east coast of the Bay of Plenty. I'm going to go for a ride up there and say hello. Spend a couple of nights there and get some more photos, because I'm looking for a really good subject material that I can do. That I can do a nice East Coast painting, which will be my next project as far as this is concerned. The fat mix with this olive green paint, I want this to be nearly black. So I'm going to mix a bit of vermilion with it, if I can find some. Did I use the last of it the other day? I probably did, didn't I? Why didn't you remind me to go and buy some vermilion? Actually, I need to go shopping. Gosh, I need to go shopping for some more paints. I'm getting really low. Okay, and I put a bit of light red with it, which didn't really help, did it? Just doesn't do what vermilion does. That is the most versatile red you can ever have. By Joes, if you want the real stuff, you'll pay for it. Real vermilion. I just get the synthetic version, which even then is about $20 something a tube here. And I'll put a bit of Prussian blue with it. Be nearly black. Not quite, still a tinge of green. I think that's getting there. That's a really dominant colour, that this stuff. Prussian blue. Gets everywhere. It's best to be used in moderation. Am I huffing and puffing today, am I? Did a good workout this morning. I did some exercise, so I'm feeling really fit and sharp. And in 3 weeks' time, I'm back to my university studies. What? You say what? What are you doing that for? I know, I hear you. I totally agree. But I undertook a Bachelor of Management degree a number of years ago, and I've got 4 papers to go out of a 26 paper 4-year degree. So I thought, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do 2 this semester. And I'm going to see what I can achieve this year. And definitely put this thing behind me, which really does need to be put behind me. You've got no idea. And then hopefully it'll stand me in good stead for getting a job in the UK. You're probably wondering why I need to do that when I can paint like this. I honestly think this is going to be more my retirement funding thing. They do sell, but they don't sell enough to make a living out of it. A good living anyway. Certainly not enough to earn as much as to what we become accustomed. And there's a lot of great artists out there now. Selling work is difficult in these economic times. There are some artists that are just screaming ahead at the moment, as people see them as a safe haven for their money. And those are the investment artists that have been painting all their lives. Well, you know who they are. And maybe when I'm a grey-haired old man, I'll be in the same boat. Too damned old to enjoy it. Cynical. But, you know, it's a nice way of making a few extra coin after you retire, I think. So yeah, it's going to be really my retirement thing. Then I'll crank them out. You watch what happen then. No other distractions. It should be great. All I have to do is make sure I don't fall off that thing. God, you can't wrap yourself in cotton wool. Yeah. So yes, starts in February. I'm quite looking forward to it. Doing a couple of marketing papers actually, relationship marketing and consumer behaviour. I've done marketing papers before. Mainly I do the finance and money side papers. So I talk about my work now, shall I? I think it's probably a good idea. What I'm doing here is just bringing some of this foliage and some of these trees down into the painting along this ridge line. A little bit of detail coming into the painting now. Detail foreground layers. This is what this one's all about. Yeah. Don't you hate it when that happens? Where's it gone? Oh no. Oh, disarray. There we are. Oh cripes, I knocked that thing. Is it straight? Still straight? Yep. I just want to bring another piece of that through. Take a piece of it and mix it with that bit of that, just to lighten it up a bit. Gosh, it didn't lighten it up much, did it? Oh, excuse me. Breakfast coming back at me. Sorry about that. Anyway, my good mate Mark is up there painting a house at Waihao Bay on the east coast, so I'm going to go for a ride. It'll take me about a couple of hours to get there. My backside will be so sore when I get there because I'm not used to that bony little seat on that thing yet, but we'll get there. fishing too. Hopefully. Mark's a keen fisherman. He likes to chase the marlin. Up and out with the east coast of the bay, plenty of that this time of the year. The marlin coming, following the warm waters down from the Pacific. So that could be quite exciting. I know one thing, I'll be eating a lot of crayfish. They seem to live on it up there. Let's get some of this foliage going into here, shall we? Paint needs to be nice and fat, lots and lots of fat oil in it, because otherwise getting a dark colour onto dry layers underneath, it'll crack. So it needs to dry really slowly, much slower than what's underneath it. Otherwise it'll just be all these little fine little cracks all the way through it. And they look hideous. Looking good. Yes. Family portrait photography shoot tomorrow at Mount Maunganui, so at the beach. So yeah, gotta get out there and do that tomorrow. Got time to paint tomorrow or ride my motorcycle. Back to work. And I've had a list as long as my arm of things I needed to do around this house, but yeah, they're still as long as my arm. I haven't been doing it. If I don't make some progress on that soon, I'm going to get in the dog box, so I better do that something. That dog box is so cold. How's that looking? Kind of sticking out like sore teeth, aren't they? Once I get some highlights into them, they'll be okay. Yes, the summer is wearing away. It'll be winter before we know it here. Those of you in the UK will be enjoying a nice summertime, which will be your welcome relief from some of the weather you've been getting lately. Cold, snowy conditions, even in the US, isn't it? You guys survive alright over there. We have a bit of a winter, but it usually gets to about 15 or 16 degrees here in the winter, so it's not that bad. It's still quite lovely and warm. As far as winters are concerned, really, isn't it? It's a non-event. It does get frosty in the mornings though sometimes, but yeah, that's about all. bit of highlight into them now, picking up some of this green. Got some texture going on them too. It's looking good. Bet you're enjoying this, aren't you? This is what painting's all about. Getting nice and close and personal with it. Which one of these do? Whew. What am I doing? Look at that turn. Bring some of this gold back. Can you see that alright? Hopefully you can. More trees going on in here. Some more detail. What are we thinking? Is this looking good? I'm liking. I'm not following the photo anymore. I've gone off on my own little tangent. That's okay. We are entitled to do that. I don't want to be a person who just follows the painting to the photo to the letter anyway. Really, you just become a copyist. As I like to add a little bit of artistic license to my work, but I still want it to be like what it is, and the landscape to be the same and the shape of the hills to be the same, or else it's not really a true representation of what you're trying to achieve. Just don't ask me to paint the sky tower into it or anything like that. Looking good, looking good, looking good. So yeah, please by all means share this onto your networking through your art world and whatever pages in that you belong to. Tell them about it. More the merrier. And welcome to you if you've just tuned in. Working on the Otago Peninsula painting of the South Island of New Zealand.